¿A poco no el té con manzanilla se lleva con todo? Te invito a uno en este espacio seguro, donde platicaremos del infierno que se vive alrededor de los trastornos de la conducta alimentaria, de las dietas restrictivas, de la imagen corporal y, por supuesto, de cómo caminar hacia la recuperación y reconexión total de nuestro cuerpo, mente y alma. Soy Carla Manzanilla, sobreviviente de varios TCA, y actualmente acompaño en el camino a la recuperación de los trastornos de la conducta alimentaria. Antes de comenzar, quiero recordarte que nada de lo que se diga en este espacio sustituye un tratamiento médico profesional. Y lo más importante, si algún episodio no es seguro para ti, evita escucharlo. Recuerda que lo más importante es tu bienestar emocional, mental, espiritual y físico.
Oh, buenos días a todos. Estoy muy contenta de celebrar un año más de este episodio y no podía faltar las personas, mis madrinas, Victoria, Julia, por acompañarnos hoy. Gracias. Estoy celebrando y ellas tendrían que celebrar conmigo. I'm studying, like I'm so happy that I'm celebrating my first year with you guys, my friends, my sister, my everything. They encourage me a lot to do this and to do a lot of this in my life. So thank you. Thank you for being here with me today, for celebrating. I have like this. I prepared a balloon.
Oh,
That's so cute.
Oh, buenos dias, all his listeners.
Oh, Victoria's improving her Spanish now.
Gracias.
So let's talk about first celebration, and I don't know, like maybe you can tell the audience, because you saw me before start the podcast, and how much you helped me to encourage myself to put this online.
Definitely, I assume that's to me. I think the question is directly to me.
To you or to Julia, because both of you was there, like literally you was telling me every day, when are you going to do it? When are you going to do it? When are you going to do it?
That is true. I went to before you started recovery, which Julia then didn't know you, but I'm talking, so I'm just going to start the answer and then I'll hand it over to Julia. Like anyone is surprised, let's be honest. So it's really important for each of us to celebrate ourselves, because many of your listeners and I say us three brains used to be in the default of, I could have done it better, should have done more, this wasn't good enough. And it was very easy for you, for Julia, for me, to actually not take a minute and acknowledge how far we'd come. And whatever the brain is defaulted to focus on, you get more of. So if you're training your brain, because we train our brain through our behaviors, if we're consciously taking a moment to be like, right, at the end of every day, I'm going to write down the little wins that I've had today. And I'm just going to take just a few moments to acknowledge myself and celebrate myself for that. And of course, if you have a coach, you can then share it and celebrate together. And then over time, your brain then starts to look for the wins. And then it's easier to celebrate yourself. And then it kind of spirals in an upward way from there.
Yes. Yeah.
I'll hand over to Julia. Julia,
yeah.
Julia.
So Carla, do you want me to talk about us persuading you to do your podcast?
I would love it. Yeah.
Okay. So Victoria had the podcast way before either of us, and we were both guests on Victoria's, and I started a podcast. And it's actually really, really scary thing to do, isn't it? Starting the podcast, really scary. And Carla, you were a magnificent guest on mine, and Vic's been on lots of times too. And you kept saying that you were going to, and when you started, and you were going to, and you were going to. And I think we just got a bit like, so set a date then.
Just do
Stop
it.
saying that you're going to do it. Stop going, when I do it, when I do this, when I do that, and actually just do it.
Yes.
And you did. And it's been, well, just about a year now. And you showing up every week. And are you still scared? Is it still hard? Or do you love it now?
Well, it's not as hard as used to be. And it's helping me actually a lot more than I expected, because it's working a lot with my perfectionism, a lot with my black and white thing. And to be like really notice that the most I do is the most I go to the point of my mission, right? Like really go deep for me and share the things that it was really important to me, or are really important to me, to pursue our recover all the time, our good being, to be present with us. So actually the podcast is a present for me. And because I can heal a lot with it. And you always, I mean, it's not something new. You already knew it. And Victoria, of course, knew it. And that's why you encouraged me. But I was in that moment, I just was noticing the fear, right? The fear that I had to do it. Or not that I had, but like, oh, what is going to happen if I do it wrong? What is going to happen if no one listens? And what is going to happen if I don't have time? What is going to happen? Like, these imaginary scenarios. And when I did, it's like, okay, it's just happened, whatever is happened. And I met a lot of people that really changed my way to see the life after the podcast, and made good friends. And the most important, I know I'm helping lots of people that expect my episode every week. So thank you guys. Thank you so much.
So can I ask, has doing the podcast, here's your word, Victoria, helped with your self-efficacy, which is your belief in your ability to do stuff?
Oh, that's a good question.
Say the word, Carla. Your accent's so cute when you say words. I need to bloody say it first.
Self-efficacy.
Self-efficacy.
Okay.
That's it.
Self-efficacy.
Excellent. So has it helped with your belief in your abilities to do things?
I think yes, helps a lot. I think yes. And I don't know, like really to do things, like more to trust on me, like more in the confident place, because I always feel capable to do things, but just for doing it, right? And the things that not includes judge, or like not include like other, like expose me to other people. Like, okay, if that things that I do is going to put me in a higher level, like, giving praise maybe because, oh, she's so good. She's always open to do things like that kind of thing. I will be always open to do it. But when the other things expose me, like make a podcast, being in, I don't know, like Instagram, make reels, talk in public, that will be always like, okay, I cannot do it. I can. I mean, I don't want to expose my life. But it was more like, I don't want to feel that I'm a failure. And now I think it's like, I don't care if you think that I'm a failure or not. I don't care, because that helps me. And if it helps me, I know it's going to help me and other people.
So you do have belief in your abilities.
Yes, I do.
And as you said, celebrating yourself helps that over and over. Every time you celebrate yourself, it helps you believe in your own abilities so much more.
Yes, totally.
And you are putting service of others over yourself. So actually that's the selfish thing to do. And this is a bit of tough love, not for you because you're doing it, but for those who have a gift and they have stuff to share. And that, of course, all the thoughts of what if no one listens? What if I don't know what I'm saying? What if, which is just fear. It's actually selfish to keep that to yourself and not share, because if you can help one person, and we all help way more than one person, but even one person why would we not get out of our own way, stop being selfish, and actually put service before ourselves and share? That's what helped me to be vulnerable. And for me, I found it, honestly, I applaud you two, because I honestly found it easy to start a podcast, because just the person I am and was, I was like, oh, I share everything with everybody anyway, and I'm an oversharer, so it was easy for me. What wasn't easy for me was putting shorts on when I was in recovery, and I had all this cellulite on my legs and all of that. So I use service to help me through that by saying, okay, if a woman sees me with a similar body size, sees me wear the shorts, and just like she's watching me go first, I was doing it for her, not for me. So being of service helps in so many ways, depending on which way you look at it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I think that's the root, right? Like service to the others is not like just feeding your soul. You're feeding your soul and feeding the soul of the other one. And it's this connection that you can just do it when you service the other with your honest heart, not expecting nothing from the others. And that's the other thing. Like we've been talking like for now almost 2 years. That is crazy. And I know we was in recovery now. And then we have a very good friendship and very close. And I think that's the point. Like the three of us always encourage us, like, go deep inside of us, go what is feels good for you, and what is like really connected with really who you are or your most higher vision. And that's always like in my mind. And I think you always make me a question, and it's like I want to, I can, maybe it's not the same that you always ask me, but how is that I can understand, like something that really connected with me, like just reflecting, is that like you really want to do it, or is like you should do it? And that is always in my mind, and goes direct to the service, right? How when we service not outside, we service ourselves too in a higher level, because we are a human being, but we are a human being in a whole world or in a whole sphere, like with a lot of human spirit, and all of us are connected in the same.
We are. And would you say, Julia, that you feel the way Carla feels? Because I do, that when we're sharing a podcast, it's also helping us. Even if we know what we're talking about, we've done this for however long, there's still a part of us that needs to hear what we're saying. It's a win-win all around.
Yeah, there's always going to be the parts that I suppose needed the eating disorder in the first place that are always, although we can heal them, they're always going to benefit from the reassurance. They're always going to benefit from knowing that, I suppose, the validation that we've done the right thing.
Yeah.
Because in the world we live in, which is full of diet culture and fitness culture, and that you should do this, you should do that, you'll be happy if you have this, you'll be happy if you weigh that. And we all live in this world, and there's no escaping that. So yes, the validation of knowing that we made the choice we did, and it's serving us and helping us to serve other people, is really helpful. And it just fills your heart every time you do it. It's knowing that your podcast is helping people, those messages that come through, those emails that come through, people that say, this was what I needed to hear today. This really helped me. I don't feel alone. I feel seen. I feel heard. I feel like I'm a human being. And that is the most beautiful and fulfilling thing ever. Just knowing that it is helping somebody helps us as well, because it fills up our own cup.
Oh, I love what you said. I love it. And it's true. I mean, it's very fulfilled. And when you say like validation, and I think when you celebrate yourself, it's difficult when you have an eating disorder because you expect the validation from outside. And when that validation needs to come from inside, it's so hard, right? Like, I remember in the periods that, when Victoria asked me, like, did you celebrate yourself? Did you celebrate this? And I said, no. Well, you need to go and celebrate. And that feels so
Off you
like,
go and let me know when you've done it and what you've done to celebrate
yes,
yourself.
I take a picture.
Yes, exactly.
And in the moment, like, oh, that feels so bad. Like, really, I need to celebrate that. It's not feeling well. I remember, like, struggle to celebrate or like even notice it. Like, oh, I did this. It was hard for me. Like, yes, I'm doing good. Just saying that, it was really hard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because we think we're not good enough, don't we?
Yeah.
yeah, we're very quick to notice the things that we think we're lacking in and criticize ourselves. But to celebrate ourselves feels so alien. Yeah, it's so easy to celebrate somebody else, isn't it?
Of course. It is
Yeah.
so easy.
But
And
you've said something key there, Carla. You said something key because you celebrated yourself even though it felt wrong, but you kept practicing because we're not going to do something that we've never hardly ever done and it to feel right the first time, especially if there's worthy, you disconnected from your worth and there's no self-love, and obviously that all comes in recovery, but you kept showing up and doing it anyway, even celebrating yourself, which didn't feel right. You still did it.
yes, I still, and that's the point. Like, you need to go and do it, even if it feels wrong, and it feels like, okay, I'm just doing this because I need to do it. And the most you do it, the most your brain is working in another way and take another pathways to really feel the celebration and really go in the root of that celebration. Because I don't know if that's happened, but it's not. I used to, if I say celebrate myself, it was equal to be selfish, right? And it's just like be proud of yourself, like this kind of proud. And in my soul feels wrong. Like, just be proud. Like, why I want to be proud of me if I make a step, but I also do all these things wrong. So why I'm going to celebrate one? And now you're like, okay, well, focus in the one now, right? Like, focus in this one. Why you want to focus in this five? If you win one, let's go focus in that.
Yeah.
There is actually science behind it. There are neurotransmitters in the brain that when we celebrate ourselves release dopamine, which activates the brain's reward center, which actually starts the brain looking for rewarding behaviors and to focus on. So it does actually rewire our brains.
Wow.
Yeah. And so just keep repeating. Those who are listening who struggle to celebrate themselves and think, it's never good enough. When will it ever be good enough? So the answer to that is like, it will never be good enough.
Who decides?
Exactly. So then when are you going to just decide it's good enough now?
Yeah.
Other than being on that hamster wheel of never ending striving for good enough, when the joke is it's not a joke, but you're already enough exactly as you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're only not when you tell yourself you're not.
Yeah. Or compare to other people.
Yeah, and it also gives like this little food to your brain, like, okay, you are doing it good. There is things that you are already did good, and you don't have to pay attention in the other things that you did doing bad, because that thing is even bad. It's just an answer of it's an answer for your soul, for your brain, for your body. It's not wrong or bad. It's just like try to keep going and do it more and more and more. And it's going to be a point, I swear, like it's coming just easy and natural. It's not like you have to make a big to celebrate. It's just notice that your wins. These little wins I never noticed before, that one. And then after a while, it's just going to come and say, oh, I do remember I did this. Or when you go to bed, oh, you know what? I noticed how much I grew up in this. And it doesn't feel bad saying now. Like, I grow up in so many ways, and you too. So it's just practice, 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 and give it the permission to practice too.
Love
Yeah.
that word.
And when you think about it, although we criticize ourselves a lot naturally, we've got all of us, every single person listening to this podcast has 100% success rate with survival and living their life. Every single person. So we're not failing at everything. We're not failing at life. Let's start celebrating it.
Yeah, I love that. And there's a quote that I heard on the thing I sent you on Gaia, Julia, healing vibrations. I don't think you've got Gaia, have you, Carla?
I did not.
No, it's like a spiritual Netflix with all these documentaries and things on. And partially through this documentary I was watching last night, she just said something very matter of fact, and I just had to pause it and just be like, I love that. And she just said, the light and the love that you have been looking for is you.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, yes. There's like, that is just that. There's everything. So I just wanted to, and I don't know if it's even relatable to this, but I really felt like I wanted to share that because there's so much truth in that. Whatever you're looking for is actually, it's you. You've been looking for yourself your entire life, but you've been like running, trying to get somewhere, or to be good enough, or to find something. You're already there.
And it's too much reluctant because if you're still looking the approbation, if you're still looking outside of you, that someone come and celebrate you, because to be honest, even if you are in an eating disorder, you want someone notice you. You want someone tell you that you are doing it correct, and you look forward to do it. As Julia said, like you did a lot of celebration from the others. You celebrate others, so you can celebrate others because you need that to your side, and it's like a little part of you, like you do it for others because you can do it for yourself, but that doesn't mean like you didn't need it. You need it, and you're lacking of that love. And it's very, very beautiful what you shared, that quote. Thank you.
Actually, when we celebrate ourselves with others, there's another bit of brain science here. The brain then releases oxytocin, which is like a social happiness hormone, and it feels really good. So that benefits not just us, but the people around us as well. So there's no downsides to celebrating yourself. No downsides at all.
Nope. I agree with that because it's okay to when you practice celebrating yourself, it's okay to get a partner, a friend. I mean, we're great. The sister circle us three have is just beautiful. We're always celebrating each other, and we're calling each other up when, like, for example, when Carla was, when I do this, and then we were lovingly saying, okay, we hear you, but just fucking do it because you're keeping the message away from the world. So we're also not enabling each of us to just stay stuck in our smallness. Yes. We're also pushing. So it's okay to have someone to help you to celebrate yourself first. And definitely. For them to be, I guess, the one who initiates that to begin with, if you're, sharing what's going on for you, because that can then, like Julia was saying, it brings everyone together. And then it's easier then when kind of they've showed you that it's okay. It's always okay. But sometimes we need that word you said, permission. Yeah. It's okay to celebrate myself. And my partner, my friend is actually encouraging me. So I'm going to do it with them. And then actually you have evidence, another bit of brain stuff. The brain needs to have evidence in order to do something again easier, because it needs that evidence of safety. If it's not done it before, it's very hard, not impossible. It's hard to do something different because the brain's like, that's unsafe. We have zero like memory of doing something similar. So we're just going to stay where we are because that's safer. But it's not true.
That's true. And I don't know, like you notice this part, but what you said makes me think like a lot of the people that we help, they don't used to celebrate their birthdays. Like it's a part, I find it all the time, like, oh, I don't like to celebrate my birthday. I don't like it.
Guilty.
And Julia is listening to me. Yeah, that was bring me up.
Very
But
guilty of that.
feels so bad to celebrate. And it's like a path. I see it in many people. So it's rooted in the same, like you are saying right now. Yes, that is good when people help you to celebrate, even if it feels wrong to you. Just enjoy as much as you can. I mean, maybe it's not the same, it's not joyful, but notice how other people can celebrate you. You can celebrate yourself too.
It's about receiving. That's a really important word. So it's like when people give you compliments, when people say, I'm so proud of you, let's celebrate you. If your worthiness isn't connected to your 100% worthiness, which is what we all have, we just need to be connected to that truth. It's so hard to receive. It's kind of like, oh my God, that's too much. So I know I'll let Julia speak for herself in a minute. I do like to celebrate birthdays now, and I kind of did when I was in the bulimia cycle. In the anorexia, I was like, oh my God, like, don't look at me, don't pay attention to me, leave me alone. And then even in the bulimia, there was so much pressure for that day that needed to be perfect. Oh my God, so much pressure. But I don't know if Julia wants to share. Like, she had a really hard time celebrating her birthday.
I did hate my birthday. I really did. I would do anything not to celebrate it, including hiding in the bathroom for an entire day.
Yeah.
I hated my birthday. I hated the attention on me. It felt unsafe. It felt vulnerable. It felt horrible. I hated compliments. I would deflect. Even though actually a part of me liked the compliments, but I thought that I wasn't allowed to accept them. I don't know why. I obviously created these rules for myself. And if someone said, oh, I like your dress, I'd be like, oh yeah, it was in the sale and it was really cheap, and try and
like
make
£2.
Yeah, it was like, yeah, it was just somebody's old throwaway, or just to try and almost justify why I had it. Because I didn't know how to accept any compliments. And it did feel so uncomfortable, so uncomfortable. I remember in coaching, Victoria, used to say to me, can you see you're amazing yet? And I'd be like, no.
And then one day,
I think I said it to you in person. I waited till I came over and said it in person.
I remember exactly where it was, because that was the first time you came. You came a couple of times now, but yeah. And then I was like almost crying. Well, I think I probably was crying. Like, I knew you would say it.
And it felt wrong. It felt hard. It felt really uncomfortable. It felt actually fake to begin with. It felt like I was pretending to be somebody I wasn't. And that it did literally feel wrong on every level. But everything new, as you said, Victoria, does feel wrong when you first start it out. And now, well, yeah, I am pretty amazing, actually.
Wow.
You are
absolutely.
And
you are celebrating your birthday now.
I did celebrate my birthday this year. I mean, I'm never going to be a big party kind of girl. I'm never going to be a wanting to be the center of attention kind of girl. And that's okay, because that's not who I am. But yes, I celebrated my birthday in a way that was really nice for me, that fitted who I am rather than societal expectations of what I should do.
You said like you are not want to be the point attention, but your podcast is your number one in like number 1, 2, 3 or something like that. So you are a full attention now.
Yeah, I suppose so.
She's not calling it though. You're not like, you wouldn't want to be the center of attention in a crowd,
No.
whereas naturally I kind of do, because I like it.
Yeah, I suppose the podcast doing well is fantastic, and I am absolutely celebrating that. because it means it's got more reach and it's helping more people, not because it's bringing attention to me. And I guess that's how I look at it, rather than bringing attention to me. It's all very strange when somebody treats you like a little bit of a celebrity. That's really odd. It's like, I'm just a normal person, just like you. That's very strange. But
Do you have any, like, if we can, like, resume steps or tips or advices to someone who's listening, like, okay, I need to start celebrating, or well, maybe she's not asking to celebrate, but how we can support with a few sentences to these people that it's really hard to celebrate themselves.
A few of my clients who've been really struggling with eating in recovery, I asked them to write, even though they felt it was wrong, I asked them to say each time they had food that was difficult to have, to say that they were proud of themselves for having it. And they were like, but I'm not. And I said, but you want to recover, right? And they were like, yes. I said, so eating this food is taking steps to recovery, and that's something to be proud of. And they were like, well, yeah, I suppose it is. So they would then write down that they were proud of having that food. And all of them have said, actually, after the first few times of it feeling really awkward and uncomfortable, they are starting to feel proud of having this food. And it's not just that it doesn't feel uncomfortable anymore. They're actually feeling the pride. They're actually feeling like, I'm celebrating myself because I'm doing well. And that then can move into other things. So any steps you take, say, I'm proud of myself for doing this, because it's hard. Because recovery is hard. It is bloody hard. So every step you take, even if you feel it's the tiniest step in the world, it's still a step. And you can be proud of that, because that's a step closer to your freedom. And the more you practice being proud and saying, I did well, I did good, the more you feel like you've done well and you've done good, until it becomes just part of your natural makeup.
Yeah, I'm piggybacking off what Julia said, similar to what I said before. Writing it down and journaling it can be very powerful. So at the end of each day, write down what you're proud of yourself for, or your little wins. And then a step further, this will be uncomfortable, but you know, growth happens in discomfort, is to go to the mirror and say out loud, I'm proud of myself for XYZ today. And that will
Very
feel
powerful,
cringy and really awkward, but it's a really powerful exercise to do. And again, we are where our attention is. The more we focus on one thing that we're proud of, instead of 50 things that we could have done better, which is a lie, because we couldn't have done it better, else we would have done it better. Hindsight's a funny thing. Yeah. Focus on what you want more of. So my practice every morning, I wake up, and first of all, I know this might sound a bit dramatic, but I wake up and I'm like, oh, I'm alive. Like, that's really cool. Like, I'm alive today, because who knows what can happen in your sleep, right? So I'm alive. And then I'll be like, I'm so grateful for my bed. I'm so grateful for the fact I don't have an alarm ever, because I run my own business and get to choose when my first client is. So I run through, like, you know, I don't count, but I just run through what I'm grateful for and feel that. And then I get up. And then, you know, I'm a human. I have different emotions and different experiences. I'm not always like happy and jolly, but you get what you focus on. So that I get more things to be grateful for, like you two, for example.
I do a very similar thing, but I journal it. So I journal things I'm grateful for. I tend to do half a page of journal for things I'm grateful for. And it's often things like that I slept well, or that my husband brought me coffee. That's lovely, every day. And yes, being alive and fit and healthy. And then I also set intentions of how I want to feel today. So I think about what I'm going to do, and say I'm doing a coaching call. I want to feel connected and able to be completely present, and that my intuition is going to help me guide the client and help them to step into their power. Or if I'm going for a lovely walk, I want to feel present in nature. I want to feel the sun on my face, even if it's raining, and often the sun comes out when I ask for that. And so the intentions of how I want to feel through the day is also, you start focusing on creating those feelings for yourself as well. And that's really helpful.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And I love, like, we can think in celebration in big, but we also celebrate this normal daily life, right? Like, okay, thank you for being alive. That's a big celebration. I mean, we don't throw the house away, but it's like these celebrations inside of us. And I say it because, people, they are listeners to us, are Mexicans for sure, Latin American people, that they used to throw the house because, when they celebrate something, but it's more this celebration inside daily, just for these things that you are grateful, because there are things that you has to be grateful just because they are there, right? Like, open your eyes. Your family is around. Maybe you sleep with your husband, or maybe you are not husband and you had a full bed for yourself. I don't know, everything. And there is so many things that we just give for granted. And it's just turn around and be present and celebrate these little things that make you be you. I think that's very, very important too.
I have some homework for your listeners, if I
You
may.
always have homework.
I love homework.
Do they send a picture?
They can send a picture to me for proof and tag me on Instagram. Absolutely. Even if it's in Spanish, please do. I'm being serious. I would like, and this is a request, it's not a have to, right? Each of the listeners to write down what they are going to choose to celebrate themselves for. And then perhaps what are they going to do to celebrate? So yes, it doesn't always have to be doing something. It can be simply acknowledging, celebrating within, and just being like, I'm really proud of myself. Like, after I've had like a really important interview or podcast, if it's gone well, which it usually does, I say out loud, fucking nailed that, Vic. Well done. Like, I'll literally talk out loud to myself, or I might be like, oh, that was room for improvement, lovely. And I'll just like speak out loud to myself like a crazy person and acknowledge whatever I did to show up. So if the listeners are able, what are they going to celebrate themselves for, and how are they going to celebrate? Again, it doesn't have to be a big party. It could be, I'm going to treat myself to a meal out tonight so I don't have to cook. Or it could be something bigger, like let's go for a weekend away with like me and a girlfriend, or me and my partner, and actually just have the weekend away, because you deserve it. You don't have to do anything big to deserve to be pampered and to do things that you've always wanted to do, that you've perhaps been waiting until fill in the blank. Like, do it now. Wear your favorite perfume now, not only when you go out once a bloody year. Like, wear it now, do the things now, and actually what can you celebrate yourself for, and how are you going to celebrate? And tag us, all three of us.
Yeah.
When you're doing the celebratory thing. Is that the right word?
It is.
Celebratory thing. Yeah.
And these things don't have to cost lots of money either. You can celebrate, you can create a picnic and go and have a beautiful walk and share a picnic with somebody you love, or have a picnic on your own, have peace and quiet, or paint your nails, buy a face mask and just take half an hour to lie back with cucumber slices on your eyes and just relax.
Sleep 30 minutes more in your bed. Like, okay, I'm going to give you this permission to sleep because I deserve it. Or have long bath, because a lot of people that listen, or they are always super busy. They are always running. So maybe what you can give yourself, or the present that you can give yourself to celebration is that time for you. Just be with you. And that could be an amazing prize.
Yeah. I have a big question for Carla. What are you going to do to celebrate your 1 year podcast? Lovely.
Well, this is a celebration, of course. And I don't know, it's not yet, so I want to celebrate it. Maybe I go out and I don't know, like just me and really be proud of being a year out online and the people and sharing and be grateful, like grateful with God because He's guided me to spread so many words outside. So I will send a picture to you too. Yeah, I will send, maybe go out because I am the people that sometimes I don't have time to myself, but for sure, maybe I go by myself, I think, into the beach, maybe, and be there and be present, grateful, and I will send a picture to all the listeners here.
Yay, yay. Love that.
Ooh, I want to buy a candle, and I didn't find the one, but we can blow this.
That looks like a
Need to
one.
turn it round.
Yeah, 1 year.
That's
Carla,
a
turn
one,
it
right?
round. That is a
Oh,
one.
yeah,
No,
because
turn
it's
it round like face. The one's the wrong way round for the camera. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it.
That's it. Yay, 1 year's
Perfect.
old.
Yeah, so we nailed it.
We
How we say
nailed
we
it.
nailed it? We fucking nailed it.
Of course we fucking nailed it. Well
We
done,
fucking nailed
queens.
it. Yes.
Well done.
Thank you so
Awesome.
much. Thank you so much for celebrating with me, for encouraging me, for being always. I think you are a very a light in my life, a very strong light in my life, and I want to be close to you guys forever and ever in this universe and the other universe and other lives. And I love you so much.
And that absolutely goes both ways.
Thank you.
3 ways.
All right, 3 ways.
Excuse me, 3 ways. It does go 3 ways. We feel the same about each other, and it's such a gift. And honestly, I mean, look how we've met through us choosing ourselves and recovering. And look what happens. It always starts with ourselves. It's not selfish, it's self-full and actually being of service. Imagine if we didn't choose ourselves. We wouldn't even have a podcast, either of us.
No.
No, we even met each other.
Exactly. Yeah. Love you both. I love me too, so I love 3 of us. And I love the listeners too. So no, ti amo is like a sexual love, right? Te quiero.
Yes, te
Te
quiero.
quiero.
Yes. I know, Julia, you know Spanish, so you can say
a little.
And then
adios.
Adios. Amigos.
Amigos.
What is it? Mi casa es tu casa and tu My house is your house.
Well, if anyone is listening, you have a house there with Victoria.
Yeah, absolutely. Mi casa, es? Mi casa es tu
casa. Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Well, gracias por
She'll publish the address in the show notes.
In the Netherlands, though, it's a bit of a far way to come. But gracias, Carla. Gracias, mi amita, for having us on. I don't know how to say the last bit.
Gracias por invitarnos.
Gracias por invitarnos.
Yeah, invite us.
Invite us.
But it's a different context. I know it's like not the same, but we'll say invitarnos. Oh, gracias. I don't know. Gracias por estar aquí. Gracias por escucharnos. Gracias todos.
Besos. I know that one. Besos. Oh my God.
Abrazos. You know that one too.
Abrazos.
Yes.
Besos.
Julia, thank you. Victoria, thank you. Thank you so much. I love you so, so much. Gracias a todos por escucharnos. Gracias por estar aquí. No olviden mandar su tarea. I'm telling you about the homework. Please send pictures. Contact me, contact Julia, Victoria, and thank you. Celebrate yourself today and celebrate with me. Please let me know if you are happy with the podcast. What did you think? Did you have thoughts? And if someone feel helpful with this podcast, text us, please. Gracias, mándenme sus comentarios, sus sugerencias. Y este podcast ha sido de mucha ayuda por este año. Para mí lo ha sido y gracias a todos por acompañarme y nos vemos en el siguiente año. Gracias.
Doei. Bye in Dutch. Doei.
Doei, doei.